What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for our most requested Madden 23 rebuild, and that is the Cleveland Browns rebuild. We've yet to do any Cleveland Brown content on the channel, and throughout the years, Browns rebuilds have been some of my best videos, and we've built up a decent Browns following here. But I think everyone, Browns fans or not, can understand why there's been no rush to do a Cleveland Browns rebuild, because your quarterback's pervert. And I say that as someone that at one point in time when he was coming out of Clemson, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, Deshaun Watson. Just obviously not a player you want to be a fan of anymore, regardless of if you're like, well, nothing legally ever came out of it side, or, you know, the side that's like he's guilty 100%. I'm not here to even debate that. It's everyone knows the story's out on Deshaun Watson, and I think, I thought of a couple different ways to do this video. One was I just straight up, with my 7th round draft pick, draft a 27-year-old rookie with the exact same stats as Deshaun Watson. So we have Deshaun Watson without having Deshaun Watson. Then I felt like, that's kind of silly. Why don't we take as maybe not fun of a take, if you will, but we take what the NFL owners do in today's NFL with Deshaun Watson here. I have no plans of making this a 5-year, can Deshaun Watson become an MVP type rebuild. I don't think he's going to be particularly good. He got exposed last season as not being worth the price that the Cleveland Browns traded to the Texans for him. He proved last season that he's not worth the outrageous contract, the quarterback-breaking contract that the Cleveland Browns gave to him. So, he needs to start playing well. If he does not meet a certain threshold, if he is not clearly a reason why this team is playing well, it's not going to justify having this piece of shit on our team. So that's kind of like, that's been the mantra of the NFL. If you're a huge piece of shit, but you're good at football, you're going to get an opportunity in the NFL. And if Deshaun Watson can't prove that he is worth that opportunity, we're going to move on from him. And obviously, because it's Deshaun Watson, maybe we're going to be looking for more reasons to move on from him than to keep him. But as it stands right now, we're going to be like every NFL owner for the most part, and we're going to look past incredible character flaws and reputation flaws. If you're a good football player, let's see what happens. Look at the rest of the team. The rest of the team that doesn't deserve to be casted on the outskirts because of their quarterback and terrible ownership. The offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, it's a solid offensive line. Jedrick Wills still has some, high ceiling for him at tackle. Batonio's solid. Wyatt Teller is very good. The veteran and Jack Conklin. We re-signed Ethan Postage. I kind of went through free agency and tried to match what the Cleveland Browns have already done so that this starting point right now today is where the Browns roster is looking like. You got David Njoku, who's finally starting to put it all together at tight end. I feel like he had ridiculous yards per catch for a tight end last season. Maybe not 10. I thought he had more than that. I feel like he had ridiculous big playability, which is uncharacteristic of a tight end. So he's panning out. Amari Cooper, the trade from the Dallas Cowboys, has definitely worked out. He is 29 years old, which is a little bit on the older side for a 5-year rebuild, but at least he's starting point of an X factor, and he does have some form of chemistry with our quarterback here. We have Donovan DPJ, solid player, young player out of Michigan. Outside of that, though, definitely think, Jalen Darden. You have the speed of Anthony Schwartz. David Bell kind of fell off a little bit during the draft process, was great in college. But we likely are going to need that third wide receiver before too long. And you want to talk about just all-around good guy, Nick Chubb. What a running back. Arguably, well, he's rated the number one running back in the NFL. I feel like maybe he's underrated in that regard, right? I feel like not enough people give him his roses as potentially the best running back in the NFL, and he's going to be a monster for us. He is going to be what we rely on for this rebuild, for this offense to get going. Defensively, all right, here's where we have some of the free agency moves. Okoronkwo coming over from the Houston Texans. He's 79 with a dev trade. He's getting up there in age a little bit. Same with Dalvin Tomlinson. They paid him big money to come over in free agency, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings. And much like Okonkwo, he's 29 with the dev trade. So his best football is likely behind him, but he's a nice band-aid for 3 seasons. Same with Okoronkwo. He's 28, does have the dev trade after a decent season with the Houston Texans. Maybe he'll offers a little bit more juice than, say, Jadeveon Clowney was, but let's not get it twisted. This defensive line is all about Myles Garrett, and is he just going to get 25 sacks a season? I hope so. Rest of the front seven, you know, we got Taki coming back on a short-term deal, but JOK is going to be the leader of this linebacking room and definitely aiming for him to get off that star dev and develop into an X-Factor linebacker for us, which definitely is attainable. Linebacker is one of the easier spots to put players in good positions to go up dev trait. We have Grant Delpit and Juan Thornhill coming over from the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought that was a great signing, honestly. I mean, for my personal Philadelphia Eagles, he would have been my top replacement for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but obviously we got into a little bit of a wait and see with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He cashed out, went to the Detroit Lions, which was terrible. Terrible decision for him. Anyways, Thornhill, that's a good get there for the Cleveland Browns. We have Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome as our corner one, corner two firmly. Emerson, the rookie, well, he's going into his second year, 76 overall. It's a great rating to have. They lost Greedy Williams, who did have a dev trait, 76 star dev, to my Philadelphia Eagles, but Emerson more than likely is going to be able to fill it. We might not even have to address the secondary for this entirety of the rebuild, which is great. The less position groups you need to overhaul, the better. So let's get into year one of this Cleveland Browns rebuild. We have the draft upcoming, and I hope my justification and explanation of what we're going to do with this quarterback makes the most sense. We're going as an NFL owner, but we're going to be an NFL owner where if it doesn't justify having him on the team, if his performance does not earn the right to stay on this team, he gone, regardless of, you know, the cap hell that might put our team into. Because of the Deshaun Watson trade, we do not have any premier picks for the next two drafts, so we're going to have to make the most out of our second and 2 fourth-rounders this season. So with our top pick, couple needs for sure on this squad. I think, you know, you look at third wide receiver, right? And looking at the third wide receivers that are still there, it's actually pretty decent board. Quentin Johnson, not stylistic what we're looking for, more so for a slot guy. Unfortunately, you know, the value might not be there. Somebody like Josh Downs, honestly, that'll be our first pick. I think our next pick would be a defensive tackle. Find someone that can play alongside Tomlinson, Mozzie Smith, Javon Dexter. I did scout Javon Dexter. I don't know if that's going to be the best pick. Maybe we'll just do something a little bit different. We could bring him in. Ika could be a nice fit. I do think our linebacking core, Taki is, I don't think, a long-term option. So I think finding someone that can be our long-term option with JOK, especially rocking, you know, nickel, who's going to be that second linebacker that's going to play a lot. I'm intrigued by Drew Sanders here. Drew Sanders out of Arkansas, double A's, pursuit and tackle, B block shed. He's going to have legit zone cut. Like, this guy here is just a complete, I don't want to say, he reminds me of Micah Parsons in regards, he doesn't have the S-tier athleticism, but like I feel like he can kind of do everything that you want a linebacker to do. He can rush the passer, he can drop back into coverage, he can tackle, he can run sideline to sideline. So, you know, he was recruited as a 5-star athlete to Alabama. So I feel like this is going to be our pick to do something a little bit different. Please have a dev trait. Please have a, let's go. I have no idea what Bengal would have rated Kayshon Boutte. At one point was regarded as one of the best wide receivers in the draft class. It completely fell off. Ratings look shit. You know what? Screw it. Give me a good player. Might be a good player there. Need that third wide receiver. Ooh, surprise. Hit it in the late round picks. You know, we need still technically, even if we're only going to run 2 linebackers, 3 linebackers on the roster. Dorian Williams at a Tulane. Pops with a hidden dev. This is in the 5th round. Hey, look at our draft recap. With no premier picks, 4 players in the 70s. I'll take that every day of the week. We got Drew Sanders, 73 hidden dev in the 2nd round. Kayshon Boutte, better rating than anything that a scouting would have indicated. 71 overall for Boutte, who likely will be our wide receiver 3. Would be cool, like a little bit of a mini career redemption, as his draft stock has absolutely tanked. We got Rook Orhoro from Clemson, 69 depth defensive tackle, one of my favorite value running backs in the draft. I made a tweet kind of just going through, you know, next up is my running back rankings, which I'm gonna try and get out this week on my Patreon, and that's content will be coming eventually to YouTube. It just goes up on Patreon first. He might be like the running back I rate way higher than most people. I think an unreal running back. Avocado, I think he has the best second gear in this year's draft class. If you give him he gets an inch of daylight, he's gone. He's got to outrun the entire team. So I love having him here as a running back too to take over, because I mean there's going to be some opportunities. Kareem Hunt's gone behind Nick Chubb, getting a 72 rookie running back in the 5th round. You love that. Dorian Williams did pop with a hidden dev, only a 68 overall. We got Keitrell Clark from Louisville, 71 and then a depth tackle, Trevor Lead, out of Louisville. But very good draft class, all things considered, with no first or third round picks. Man, you love seeing this. Nick Chubb already taking Abaconda under his wing. Exactly what you expect out of a great guy like Nick Chubb. And we got another mentorship. Amari Cooper wanted to take DPJ under his wings. We got +2 release, +2 deep route running for a guy that we need to step up. Lastly, we have another training camp stand-up, Grant Delpit at safety. One point man was just an incredible safety prospect coming out of LSU. Now, seems like his career is finally on track. After the draft and free agency, here's how our team is going to line up. Offensively, Butte is going to be our wide receiver 3. Everything else on the offense is going to be exactly the same as we saw during the preview. Defensively, I'm going to go Perion Winfrey at D-tackle 2. That was a great pick. I think there's a lot of upside there for the D-tackle. Good pass rusher out of Oklahoma. Williams and Sanders are going to get the start at linebacker. And we're going to keep Emerson there at slot corner. And that's pretty much it. Butte in the slot. We're going to have Garrett Tomlinson. And I'm going to actually go with Sanders as our pass rusher, with JOK and Dorian Williams in nickel for our linebacking core. Let's see what we can do here in year one. So we got a bunch of trade offers for Taki, who became depth because of Drew Sanders. And I think the one that, I don't know. I like the value for our team because Jack Conklin, I think, is at his ceiling as an 80 overall right tackle. Maybe someone like Jonah Williams kicks over to right tackle, and it might rejuvenate his career because he is a left tackle 2 right now for the Cincinnati Bengals after they paid big Zeus Jr. Orlando Brown to come over. So I'm gonna take this offer. Absolutely, we got a new right tackle, and that made Jack Conklin, who's still solid. He's just 29, so at his ceiling for us. So we were able to ship him off, 80 star dev, to the Chicago Bears, whose top positional need was actually right tackle, and we're able to get a 3rd and 4th round pick from the Bears, which is absolutely needed because this 2024 draft is still, punishment. We'll call it that. That's the best way to view it. Punishment from the Deshaun Watson trade where we don't have a 1st round pick. So there we go. We got Jonah Williams now at right tackle and an additional 3rd and 4th round pick in the upcoming draft. The midway point, we are actually pretty badass right now. 7-2. Luckily, from what I can tell, it's been mostly Nick Chubb. He's got Offensive Player of the Week twice. And hopefully it's, hopefully it's not Deshaun Watson becoming an X-Factor type guy again. But we'll see what happens at the season's end. Let's talk about some contracts. We have no money right now. So whoever is an available free agent, we are going to have to wait till the end of the season where we can hopefully rectify our salary cap room and try to keep them. Obviously, looking at our available guys, Delpit, Jonah Williams, who we just traded for, and DPJ are 3 players I would love to keep. But yeah, as you can see right now, our salary cap is terrible. So we're going to have to just wait till you get that big bump in the offseason. Hopefully, it's a massive bump. In year one for the Browns, very, very successful, winning the AFC North 12-5. Very competitive. Bengals, Ravens, hell, even the Steelers 8-9. Not that bad. That would have won the NFC East a couple years ago. But take a look at who did what. Nick Chubb up there, top 3 in rushing, 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns. You love to see that. Deshaun Watson played pretty well. 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 13 picks. Definitely not the Deshaun Watson that was on the field in real life in 2022. That Deshaun Watson was cooked. Absolutely washed. Played a little bit better here today. Nick Chubb, 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns. The show really did run through him on the offense side of the ball. Amari Cooper had a hell of a year. 81 catches, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. Should be good enough to keep his X factor. We had just under 1,000 for DPJ, who hopefully, again, we get a little bit of salary cap help so we can retain him. David Bell, 8-3, 6 and oh my God. I think after that trade, it reset my depth chart. So Butte was not in the slot. And those reps went for David. Fix that shit, Madden. The fuck, man. Dorian Williams was a tackle machine. Our hated dev 5th round rookie. 140 tackles, 10 TFLs. Over 100 tackles for JOK. 18 sacks for Myles Garrett. 10.5 for Okonkwo. Again, my depth chart got reset. So we did not have Drew Sanders at pass rush. Fuck's sakes. This game. That's on me. That's on me, man, because I didn't double check that this game changed what I wanted to do. My bad. We will We'll do better next year. Dak Prescott is the MVP. Deshaun coming in number 8. In the NFC. We're in the AFC. Offensive player of the year, Joe Mixon. Myles Garrett is defensive player of the year. Awesome seeing that. For the individual awards, again, if we were playing our guys correctly, who knows where Butte would have finished? Who knows where Drew Sanders would have finished? A little bit of a botch job there. Joe Mixon, running back of the year, beating out, wow, Nick Chubb. So really, the only individual success that we can consensually say, yeah, is Myles Garrett defensive line, which is expected. And I would have been probably pretty frustrated if for some reason Myles Garrett always dominates when you're not the Browns, and then the time that I am the Browns, he sucks. So we are able to pull that into one divisional title, 1-for-1 here in year 1, and our playoff journey starts in the wild card against bitter divisional rivals in the Baltimore Ravens, where we handle business 24-21, and it sets up another divisional rivalry against Cincinnati Bengals. What do we got here against the Ravens? I mean, Ravens got 14 points in garbage time. Deshaun Watson did not play particularly well. This was, I'm going to guess, maybe our defense took up. Not really. Okay, we just outmitted the Baltimore Ravens in that matchup to move on to the next round to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And let's see what we can do against the Bengals. 12-5, 12-5. Find out even though we got the divisional title, who the true best team is. Are we going to win the Super Bowl in year 1? 49-17. Not even close. Deshaun Watson, an outstanding performance. 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Nick Chubb, 100 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. The offense was unstoppable, and now standing between us and a year 1 Super Bowl appearance is the cheat code known as the Kansas City Chiefs. Huh. What? 5 touchdowns, no picks to Deshaun Watson. And then Mahomes, on top of that, throws 3 picks. JOK, Denzel Ward, and Grant Delpit with interceptions. And we are in the Super Bowl here against the Dallas Cowboys. We're just going to sim it. I mean, at this point, you're just playing house money. Do we win the Super Bowl in year 1 with the Cleveland Browns? No. We fall 21-14. Micah Parsons is the MVP. Damn. What's the box score of that? Who did what? Who underperformed? Was it that piece of shit Deshaun Watson? Did he underperform? I bet it was. I bet it was Deshaun Watson. Bet you he had a stinker. Look at that. Absolute stinker liability at quarterback. We'll just ignore the fact that he put 10 touchdowns in the 2 other previous games. And, yeah, all right. Cool. Bill, we retool. We go to the offseason. Hopefully, again, we get some money. We're still not going to be negative $29 million salary cap. Oh, baby. We go from minus $29 million to down to minus $27 million. Awesome. All right, we're going to trim some fat. First, we're going to go with one of the few NFL players that has to be blocked on Twitter. Get out of here, Josh Dapps. We also free up about $3 million. Moving on from Jakeem Grant, the special teamer, speedster. I literally trimmed as much fat as I could off this roster, and we still are minus $14 million in the red. So moving past into the first stage of free agency, our salary cap adjusted again. And it went from minus 14. This was our influx to $3 million. And now we don't have a right tackle. We had to let Jonah Williams walk. We just traded for, right? We probably would have had to do something anyways regarding Jack Conklin. Like, he likely would have been a guy who would have cut anyways. We don't have a wide receiver, too, as Donovan Peoples-Jones hit the open market. There's just no way we can extend an offer there. Amongst other things, now we have no depth across the roster because I pretty much got rid of my backups at every single position to be under the salary cap. So we are going to need one hell of a draft to keep things going here. And I almost feel like at this, I don't know. Do we move on from Deshaun yet? Will that make things easier for this rebuild, or does it make things harder? Is this rebuild going to be more difficult trying to win around the terrible Deshaun Watson contract? I feel like we'll give it at least one more year, and we'll take our punishment of not being able to resign anyone here this season. So not only do we not have a first-round pick, because we went to the Super Bowl, our first pick is 31 in the second round. Luckily, we do have pick 4 in the third round, so 2 kind of quick back-to-back picks. Our needs, I need wide receiver, I need a right tackle, I need a safety. Those are all starters. Then I could say, debatably, a defensive tackle 2. So looking at what we got here at safety. Not a whole lot, to be completely honest with you, that I'm liking, which sucks. Maybe let them get creative. At defensive tackle, I mean, definitely some guys that look like there could be something there. An A, B, and a C for Josh Jackson. A, C there for Newton. Not really seeing a home run at defensive tackle, to be honest. We got to kind of sift through that. Offensive line, there did look to be a couple really nice looking offensive line players that could be available, but obviously the draft board, that's a badass name. I'm going to be honest. Boogie Snow. That's an incredible name. But, you know, we almost need to expand because I just need the best lineman possible that can kick out the tackle. So we got Sam Webster here out of Florida State. Get the A and the B at 6'5". Definitely could make that switch. Elite acceleration, agility, and change of direction, which I'm very intrigued about. We have at left tackle, you know, guys can make that switch. Again, the board's not the best. So, like, that guard's probably going to be our best option. What do we have at wide receiver? Wide receiver, we did do some scouting on wide receivers this year. We got, you know, no studs off the get-go. Ooh. Not gonna lie. Double A's for Matt Brewer. What kind of speed we got here? 4-3. Ooh. There might be something there for sure, but I mean, there's a lot more wide receivers that could go. I'm not gonna rush that one. John Turner could be great value. 3 B's and a C. What kind of speed do we got there? Would love to see an A, but 6'2", 220. Ooh. I could see us honestly double dipping here potentially at wide receiver. We have Lyle Albury. Look at that. 2-3 talent, day 3 pick. So we got value there. I think right now the best pick, as we just look at a very depressing draft board, is going to be Sam Webster here, 6'5", and we're going to kick him to tackle, and he does roll with a dev trait. That is outstanding for us. I think, honestly, given our board, we might get 2-3 wide receivers here. I think we'll start with Matt Brewer. The double A's are outstanding. Anytime we get A catching, I'm going to pull the trigger here. And there might not be a dev trait. I think he's going to be, you know, probably in the low 70s, which is still good. I'll take that. It's day 1 starter for us. And then we're just going to get the other good wide receiver in John Turner. 3 B's and a C, 6'2", 225. Very intrigued by his skill set. Unfortunately, no dev trait on either one of the wide receivers, even though I'm pretty sure they're going to be good players, both of them. Ooh, okay. The last draftable D-tackle that I had, interior pass rusher, Josh Jackson, comes with a hidden dev, 6'3", 299, so a little undersized. Great athleticism for that size, however, 85 acceleration, 76 speed, and still plenty strong, 89 strength. Our second hidden dev of the draft. Hey, fullbacks are literally the second to last pick, almost Mr. Irrelevant. We had a fullback here that had 3 ace. I was like, whatever, I don't even know if we use a fullback. Just kind of going BPA 6'1", 260. But, okay. So last year's draft was really good, considering we had no first-round picks. This year's draft also seems pretty decent. Sam Webster is going to have to slide to tackle. I don't know if that's going to negatively affect his rating or not. But he is a scheme fit. Agile, I believe, is what we need for our right tackle. He's a 72. And he goes from 72 to a 71. Maybe not the best value, but we got Matt Brewer, the double A wide receiver, 76 normal dev. So the rating is outstanding. And he is, honestly, that's a, what, 3 overall points different than Donovan Peoples-Jones at the starting point. So I'll take that. John Turner, who we had a lot of scouting done. Also normal dev, no dev trait, 73 scheme fit. That's cool. Josh Jackson, D-tackle, 70. He had a hidden dev. He's likely going to be a day 1 starter for us, alongside Dalvin Tomlinson. We got a 67 corner that just fell. He was just, I don't know, that's not the best. Albury was that second, third round grade, like last wide receiver in the draft. So we're just kind of building up some depth here at wide receiver on rookie contracts that are cheap. So maybe that'll be a position that we could save some money. We got a 71 punter and the fullback, almost Mr. Irrelevant, 77 hidden dev. 90 lead blocking. He had elite strength, which was 82. Okay. So after a brutal conclusion to last year's season, be it losing in the Super Bowl and then not being able to pay anybody and having to cut some starters and not be able to sign anybody in free agency, I think we're decent. We're looking decent when the dust is settled here going into year 2. Able to draft a hopeful long-term right tackle here in Webster 72 with a hidden dev. Hitting on a fullback. I mean, hopefully they're utilized here in this playbook. We got Brewer, who's going to be our wide receiver 2, but he's going to start in the slot. Turner's going to play on the outside, so that's 2, 3, 4 draft picks that are going to contribute on a defending AFC champion team, which is, I mean, I don't know. That's not ideal for sure, but it is what it is. On the defense, Jackson at D tackle is going to start. So that's another rookie that's going to get considerable playing time. Keitrell Clark, second-year player. We drafted him last year. He's 74. I'm going to go with him in the slot, and I'm going to just because of the highest rating. Martin Emerson Jr. is a 77 at strong safety, taking over for Grant Delpit. Let's just see. Maybe a position switch is going to work out for Emerson. A little bit tight of an athlete. Maybe be more maximized there at safety. I don't know. I was shocked at how good this team was in year 1. Hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised here in year 2. We'll bring it here live midway of year 2. A breakout scenario. Drew Sanders, who is now actually playing as like a sub linebacker, pass rusher, hybrid type, has an opportunity to get a breakout scenario for the 5-1 Cleveland Browns in a big-time rivalry matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We want to keep the wins ongoing, trying to get our 6th win of the season here in week 7. And we lose a close one, 34-27. Looking at our breakout player, though, do we get the superstar dev? We did not for Drew Sanders, which is pretty annoying. We did have a player of the week. I'm going to guess it's either Myles Garrett or Nick Chubb. And it was Myles Garrett. 7 tackles, 2 sacks. It's pretty much, it's one of the two. I've never seen Deshaun Watson yet get a player of the week, even though he had a pretty big season last year. Looking at our contract, I think it's just going to be pretty much the exact same hope and prayer and dream. Oh, never mind. $54 million. What? Okay, we can make this work. First up, Nick Chubb. He's not going anywhere. He wants more deals. Okay, but he's still interested in staying. I think Amari Cooper, another guy, pleasantly surprised with how well he's playing. So we're going to keep him in the building, even though at his age, that's not ideal. We have J.O.K. linebacker, to give him a 5-year deal to keep him in this linebacking core. I want really all 3 of them. We have Jedrick Wills at tackle. And I think this is where, you know, we're gonna get more money come the offseason. So I think with Nick Chubb, which we'll obviously get that contract hammered out, and then right before the offseason starts where we get the extra influx of cash, we should be able to retain Jedrick Wills, but it is likely going to be very, very light for us spending on the open market. We gave Nick Chubb a 6-year deal instead of a 5-year deal. That's all he's looking for. He is here for the remainder of the rebuild. Damn, man. One of the most shocking we kicked the shit out of the Chiefs. 51-14 against the cheat code in the NFC. What? How did Deshaun Watson was perfect. Mahomes couldn't get out of his own way. Jesus. So, not bad. Year 2 for the Cleveland Browns, 12-5. Didn't win the AFC North because the Baltimore Ravens were on one. But given the roster turnover we had this offseason and how much reliance we had on rookies, we'll take it, man. Nick Chubb, 2nd leading rusher there. We have Myles Garrett, sack getter, machine, 21 sacks, leading the league. You'll love seeing that. Deshaun Watson, he was solid, 4,200 yards, 38 touchdowns. Playing back at a pretty high level. Definitely not like what he looks like in real life. Run the ball, though. It is a Nick Chubb show. That is our offense. 1,700 yards, 23 touchdowns. Amazing. Abanikanda was also very good. Got involved here, so I like the 1-2 punch. He's starting to pick up the production that was left with Kareem Hunt. Good year to Amari Cooper. Glad we re-signed him. 1,100 yards, 10 tutties. 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns for Matt Brewer, our 2nd-round pick. Turner was solid as well. So we got decent production out of a young, inexperienced receiving group. Defensively, J.O.K. led the team, 146 tackles, over 100 tackles for Dorian Williams and Martin Emerson Jr. 4 picks, thriving in his new role at safety. Sacked front, 20 TFLs, 21 sacks on 76 tackles for Myles Garrett. Likely Defensive Player of the Year. 13 sacks from Drew Sanders. Love seeing that. And we got a lot of turnovers. 5 picks, Dorian Williams, 4 from Martin Emerson Jr., 2 from Denzel Ward. Very happy, man, with these numbers. Yearly awards MVP goes to Dak Prescott. Back-to-back MVPs for Dak. Deshaun Watson at number 7. Offensive player of the year goes to Nick Chubb. Defensive player of the year goes to Myles Garrett. This is all about stars. Woo, I thought Brewer had a good shot there at offensive rookie of the year to get off that dev trait normal to something a little bit more pretty. But gets beat out by I assume quarter. I don't even know if that's a quarterback. That sucks. I thought that was a shoo-in. Nick Chubb, running back of the year. We have Myles Garrett, D-line. Both those guys X factors, so they're not really going to get much of a boost for winning those awards. But I think based off production, maybe we'll have a couple dev traits increases. But our journey starts here. Deshaun Watson game in the wild card round. Browns versus Texans. And we are, wow, number 1 offense struggles. 26-24. We fall to the Houston Texans. Maybe the moment was too big for Deshaun Watson. Moment too big. I mean, Bryce Young didn't play particularly well either. But you would think Deshaun would play a lot better. And kudos to the Browns. Kind of took away Nick Chubb, and we could not stop Dameon Pierce. So the Ravens defeat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. So there's a little bit more added pressure within the division on this rebuild, as the Ravens have, we got to match that. We can't let someone else in our own freaking division win the Super Bowl and we get shut out in 5 seasons. But end of year 2, not finding the success that we're looking for. But as it relates for dev traits, Amari Cooper, I thought might have been at risk to losing that X factor. He keeps it. Luckett was hidden dev. He's a star. Webster was a hidden dev. He's a star. Brewer, after a little bit of a breakout year for us as a rookie, he was normal. He gets a dev trait increase up to a star dev. So that is a win. No dev traits lost and a couple gained on the offensive side of the ball. Defense was pretty huge. Denzel Ward got superstar corner. Baller. Might have a chance to get X factor. Did lose a dev trait on Okoronkwo. Lost from star to a normal. Emerson, making that switch to safety, was outstanding. He is up from normal to a star dev. And all 3 of our star dev linebackers are up to superstar. Drew Sanders, 13 sacks, up to star dev. Williams, 5 interceptions, up to superstar dev. JOK, almost 150 tackles, one of the leading tacklers in the NFL, up to a superstar dev. Let's go. The downside is we did not get that influx of salary cap that we were looking for. So Jedrick Wills is going to have to hit the open market. All right, back-to-back years, we're looking for a tackle with our top pick in the draft. And with just under $5 million in available salary cap, I'm not even going to look at free agents. We are not going to be able to sign anybody that would be a competitive upgrade. So we have pick 24 in the draft, and, 2 positions in need, I think, overall. One would be getting an offensive tackle, and one would be getting a nickel corner. Looking at the available corners, there are 2 that look pretty good. One is Deion McPherson. Zone corner definitely fits a nickel mold. B catching C-man, A press, B zone coverage. But he's not the fastest, not the most athletic, but the ratings do look pretty good. We have Darrell Hewitt out of Florida. He has the double B's, press, zone, and catching. Man's probably in the C range. A little bit better of an athlete, 4'3". Both those guys look pretty good, but I think a bigger need for us, do you want to go get a third corner, which we could, we have depth like guys in the 70s, but we have absolutely nothing at tackle right now. So looking at the top tackles, wish we had a little bit more scouting on either Atkinson or Bobby McCain, because the impact blocking and awareness are like 2 of the most useless stats you could be looking for an offensive tackle. He does have elite strength, Chad Atkinson. But I mean, for this, you just look for the best overall fit, right? You look for whatever guy has the best ratings that's like 6'4", 6'5", likely will be able to kick out a tackle. So we got the double A's. This one here, he has pass blocking, but he's 6'3", 310. Obviously not going to be able to make him an offensive tackle. Left guard, we have Will Clemens. How tall is this guy? 6'6", 334, 3 B's, and an A. So definitely the best information we have. Very strong player as well. That might need to be... might be our best option here. But then there's also like value a little bit on, right? Got the B's, double B's on Hopkins. B and the A on Leonard McMahon, who is a scheme fit. Agile is what we look for. This guy could also be a tackle. 40 reps on the bench press. And an outstanding athlete. Top 5 in the 3 That guy might be our best shot. And he's a close scheme. But Tony Lake's there. Will he be there in the second round? Screw, we'll get him. Surely between him and the corner. But I think with that strength, I'm going to buy in, man. Scheme fit and strength is enough for me to go with the guard. And that was at least the right decision, as he is a hidden dev. And look at that athleticism. Great athlete as well. Should be easily able to transition to tackle. We locked in here a little bit. Hewitt's still on the board at corner. Not even going to think twice about it. Let's go! And take a look at our draft recap. Oh, hits on hits. Rest of the draft was, pretty mid, to be honest with you. But Daryl Hewitt in the second round, 74 hidden dev, and he's going to be a day one starter for us in the slot. And we got Leonard McMahon, 76. That's pretty, average for a good first round offensive lineman. And I'm going to wonder if this rating is going to shift. We are going to make him our starting left tackle out of Iowa State. He goes from 76 to 74. Takes that little bit of a hit. I had to do it, though. Year 3 for the Cleveland Browns. And on the offense, we have McMahon, our brand new left tackle, with the nice boost of a 76. That's pretty dang good for a first round rookie starting there. Everyone else ready to run it back. Defensively, the addition, we're going to take Hewitt. We're going to bump him up to that third corner. I want to maximize that ceiling as a player with a hidden dev trait. And really, Sanders is more of a pass rusher as well. So you kind of throw him in on that front four with Jackson Thompson and Garrett. And then you have JOK and Dorian Williams primarily playing in the sub package, running in nickel. Emerson has definitely made a very nice transition to strong safety. It would be awesome to see him just continue every single season, go up dev trade, and maybe that's his best position for this team as we look to run it back here in year 3. Win another divisional title and have another deep playoff run. Midway point of year 3, pretty happy where we're at, 5-3. Just a game back of the Bengals for his first place in the division. So we're on the right trajectory. But here's always my least favorite part of these rebuilds has been we've had no money to re-sign anybody. And finally, and obviously it's a massive win because there's a lot of pending free agents, at least we have some money, $101 million. That's been the downside of this rebuild. It's because of the ugly Deshaun Watson contract. Mainly, we've been losing lots of talent and not being able to keep and develop players here. We got Postage at center. We'll see if we can. I mean, we've been drafting linemen well. So I think we might be able to draft his replacement. We got Cade York at kicker. Pretty solid kicker. You're flexing a little bit when you can re-sign the kicker. But let's just not worry about that for the remainder of the rebuild. We have Joel Bitonio, 33 years old. Let's see if we'll take this one-year deal. Very expensive, but we want to keep this offensive line together. Same with Wyatt Teller here. We'll go player-friendly contract. Maybe that'll be enough. He wants a little bit more. And you know what I say, man. You run your linemen into the ground. We have Njoku, who I don't really like to a super long contract. I feel like we give him 2 years, and if he takes it, oh my god, he wants. We're probably not going to do any better, right? It's like if once he's done regressing, and at the end of this rebuild, we keep him for the max, he's still probably going to be 84, 83, 84, and likely a good starter for us. But we are getting bent over here. These guys know we have a little bit of money. We had Emerson, who's took his game to another level, moving to safety. We got him locked in, and I just probably not going to take a whole lot more money to get Newsome and Joko and Teller to sign, and that likely will still give us around $40 million of salary cap going into the open market this offseason. So we gave Greg Newsome 5 years instead of 4. That's all he was looking for. We got him to sign on the dotted line. Wyatt Teller, I think he wants a raise, so we'll go 9, 2, and 7, and that's enough to get him to sign. I think the toughest one here is Njoku. I just feel like for that much, I don't think there's going to be that much harm to play hooky, play chicken. What's the word? Hooky. Hooky's when you skip school. Chicken, right? We'll play chicken and dare him to be like, all right, hit the open market, and hopefully no one else bids him. If he's the best tight end available in that spot on the open market, we'll be able to bring him back. And there's not going to be any other bids that's going to price him out of us. But there might be a better tight end. There could be like a Kyle Pitts or something crazy like that I'd rather pay than David Njoku. So we're going to kind of wait and see on that one. And our third season finishes with a divisional title, 11-6. That's our second in 3 years, so it's a great start, all things considered. Take a look at our stats. Nick Chubb went off. Holy. Deshaun, average, mid is what it is at this point. But Nick Chubb, almost 2,000 yards rushing, 23 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns for Benacamba. So our rushing attack, elite. 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns for Matt Brewer, 1,007 for Amari Cooper. So at least like our top 2 wide receivers are also eating, which is nice. On the defensive side, JOK, 166 tackles, 138 for Dorian Williams. We had 14.5 sacks, Drew Sanders, 13.5 for Myles Garrett, which is like some of the lowest numbers I've seen for Myles Garrett, which is not ideal. 11 sacks for Josh Jackson at D tackle, 3 picks, 1 Thornhill leading the team. Man, does JOK lead in the NFL in tackles? 166, gotta be up there. Yeah, all right. That's likely a depth chart, man. That might put him up to an X Factor when all is said and done from this season. Yearly awards MVP goes to Joe Burrow. And in the AFC, Offensive Player of the Year, Nick Chubb. Awesome. We have, McPherson. That was the corner. That was the nickel corner we were talking about. Considered drafting him. Went elsewhere. And he is thriving within the division. Something to take note of. Nick Chubb is running back of the year. And that's it. Wow. Not a lot going the way of the Browns. And I saw a lot of Bengals with some awards. I don't even know if they made the playoffs. But first round of our playoffs, our journey starts hosting the Denver Broncos. We are a massive favorite as it relates to overall. And that just means nothing on the field as our number 12 defense in the league gives up 35 at home. They got 21 points in the our team just gave up. Oh my God. Deshaun Watson. Horse shit. The Vikings knocked off the Kansas City. I like seeing anytime the Chiefs, Cowboys, Bucks losing. I like seeing that. It gives us hope as the Vikings handle business there. But take a look at our squad as we end year 3 as it relates to dev traits. Amari Cooper lost his X Factor. And that's about it on the offensive side of the ball. McMahon was our hidden dev draft pick in the first round, and he came out as a star dev, but already an 81 left tackle. Very happy with that. Defensively, we had dev traits. Lost on Tomlinson, I think, which sucks. Drew Sanders is up to an X Factor. No X Factor for JOK. Leading the NFL in tackles. Does not get X Factor. Denzel Ward lost his superstar. Hewitt, hidden dev rookie corner, just a star dev as well. All right, so, I mean, not ideal. Not a huge year. I mean, we gained an X Factor anyways in Sanders, which is awesome. 2 pass rushers with X Factors, but everything else, a little underwhelming going into year 4. And, of course, you almost knew that was going to happen. David Njoku is firing away. It's not even... And there's... He's firing away the top tight end. I'll go player friendly. If not, I mean, it might be fun trying to chase a tight end in this year's draft class. We'll go that. Well, I'm not going to overpay. Other positions we could be looking for. It just looks like a shit free agent class, to be honest with you. Right now, it looks like you're going to be overpaying for average players at this rate. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll throw a respectable offer on Njoku. But he goes elsewhere, and we're going to be going towards the draft with a clear need at tight end. All right, so we pick at 23, and there's clear and obvious one tight end that if we want to get better at the position, we're going to need to take a swipe at. Oh, man. Damn it. Thought this quarterback was actually going to be like maybe someone we go in the second round, and we got UDFA talent on him. Shit. Anyways, back to the tight end. Bernie Sheffield. Chance at 3 A's, but A catching traffic, A catching. 6'6" with 4.49. Like, there couldn't have been a better role for needing a tight end. You got just this guy looks incredible. Truly incredible. But we're gonna need to move up. So I need that 4th pick there from the Chicago Bears. We're at that stage in the rebuild going into year 4, year 5. Draft picks become less and less valuable to us. And when you have, a clear and obvious need, you're not going to be too hesitant in terms of trading future picks. So I'm going to offer 2 1s and a 3 to the Chicago Bears for pick 4. Should be able to get it done. It does. Did I overpay? Maybe, but like that first round pick next year likely is not going to do a single damn thing for us. We are not gonna. It's not gonna be a guy that's gonna start for us. It's not gonna be an impact playmaker. By getting someone in year 4, where they're gonna have 2 years of development, is definitely the way you gotta go. Now, if this guy's normal dev, I'm gonna be absolutely crushed. We also let Postage walk, so we're going to look for a center replacement. We have Connor Clement. Just shot in the dark here, honestly. More so going with the best athlete at the center spot. He's also the top available center, even though those double A's are at the 2 least important spots. Might have a dev trait because he's such a good athlete. And no, we're just not getting dev trait players in this year's draft, apparently. Look at our draft recap. We need to see high 70s. And Sheffield is a 77, which is, I mean, literally everything but the dev trait looks amazing on the guy. Like a true David Njoku replacement, right? Not much of a blocker, more of a receiver. Clement, 73. We got Bridge in the 4th round, defensive end here at a Buffalo, 70. Not bad value, but just wasn't, I don't know, man. Anytime you trade multiple first-round picks for a normal dev player that you selected in the top 5, like regardless of where he stands, like, where is he in true talent to this draft class? He's number 2 in true talent. 77. What was the other tight end? There's another tight end that was worth drafting. And we're going way down here to try to find him. Oh, Jesus. It wasn't Eric Fox. He's 72. This guy, Ray Coles, was the other first-round grade tight end. Of course, he is hidden dev. Oh, this could be an interesting one. I'd rather take a 77 normal than a 72 star. But I'd definitely take a 72 superstar. It's only a start here, so I'm still happy with this pick. All we need to do, though, is make sure our first-round pick, our tight end, gets a lot of targets, gets a lot of yards, and goes up dev trait for getting Offensive Rookie of the Year. Both of our top draft picks are going to be starting. Clement at center, who's up to a 75. Sheffield at tight end, who's up to a 78. We have no longer an X Factor at wide receiver and Amari Cooper, so like maybe that's where Sheffield needs to step up a little bit and pick up the slack, but Brewer's nice. Nick Chubb, absolute monster, even though we're facing just a little bit of regression on the defensive side. I don't really like Myles Garrett being there at left end, because the right end in this scheme is what thrives. I feel like I'm going to change that. I'm worried. I'm worried that, like, Bridge would get the Myles Garrett bump there. But our D-line, I mean, does look a little shaky, to be honest with you, but our linebacking core looks ridiculous. Our secondary is pretty damn good outside of maybe a better upgrade at... One of you guys go to free safety? Can Hewitt? What's your tackling? 60... Okay, you can't tackle for shit, so you're not going to safety. Maybe we'll just have to chill and not move a player. But if someone has like almost 70 tackling... Keitrell Clark. Let's see what you can do, man. Because right now, you're not getting re-signed. You're going into a contract year. You're not getting re-signed. We're going to let you walk. But if you can move, like Martin Emerson, from corner to safety and carve out a niche for yourself, and he goes up to a 75, just maybe you could stick around. So I'm going to switch up Myles Garrett to the other side just to make sure we get full-on Myles Garrett. And I'm excited to see us win another divisional title. Year 4 is halfway done, and we are tied for first in the division with the Bengals. It's really been between us and the Cincinnati Bengals in this rebuild as it relates to the AFC North. Let's take a look at the contracts. Who wants to go the full rebuild here on the squad? We have $157 million bazillion dollars, which actually is working itself out fairly well because I don't really want to bring him back. I'd rather, I'm already going to guess that he's going to be the top quarterback on the market. But if not, that could be pretty cool. So let's see with our own contracts here. We got Dorian Williams, who's been one of our best success stories. We're going to have to pay top tier money. We're going to pay top tier money for most of these guys. We're going to go Drew Sanders, give him very player friendly for X Factor. We got Myles Garrett. We're not letting him leave the building. We got like a $250 million pass rush. And even then, you can still be like, well, should we still have more of a pass rush? Should we still get more of an interior pass rusher? But we will overpay Dorian Williams to get him to sign on the dotted line. We'll still likely have close to $80 million of salary cap to spend big time on the open market this offseason. Give us that additional boost going into year 5. Even more of a push in, like, maybe we need a better quarterback. Are we capping our potential with Deshaun Watson here? Our team's too good to be going 9-8. Luckily, we limped into the playoffs, second place in the division, and we got to run the gauntlet here. But definitely valid concerns about our quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Kind of fell off a cliff in terms of production. That's, mid-year. That's absolutely mid. Nick Chubb, 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns. He's been absolutely incredible in this rebuild. 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. For the ageless wonder, Amari Cooper, he's been consistent. I don't think he's gone over 1,000 yet all season. Brewer was solid. Our rookie tight end, I don't know if that's going to be offensive rookie of the year type number to get the dev trait. But, for a rookie tight end, we've seen firsthand like Kyle Pitts, who's S-tier prospect, struggles to put up some production. Maybe that's a little bit on Atlanta. But 64 catches, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns for a rookie tight end. Those are very good numbers for a rookie tight end. J.O.K. and Williams both going over 100 tackles. 12.5 sacks from Rook or Haro. What are sack numbers all over the place? That's kind of weird. But hey, congrats to him having a little bit of a breakout. Yearly awards MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. And in the AFC, I didn't see a single impressive player on our squad. We don't win a single yearly award. And for Offensive Rookie of the Year, Sheffield, that's how it happens, right? Set runner-up. No awards, no nothing. Again, I almost feel like everything bad that happens to us in this rebuild is because we have a certain guy quarterback right now. It's just karma. And he's at least going to go down swinging, though. 42-35. We get a victory here with Deshaun Watson, out of all people. 281 yards, 4 touchdowns in that matchup, propelling us to the division round. We get to take on the 12-5 Kansas City Chiefs, who we beat in the regular season through the sim, but can't beat them here. Can't get over that. We need a better quarterback, man. I don't know if we're going to panic and find one in the draft, but Deshaun's not that guy. He's not that guy anymore. Surprise, surprise. Chiefs went on to win the Super Bowl here in year 4. And take a look at our squad as it relates to dev traits going into year 5. Up or down on the offensive side. No downs, no ups. On the defensive side, no ups, no downs. Interesting. Fuck off. Respectfully. Fuck. Like, one of the worst quarterback classes of all time. Year 5. This is going to be... we're just going to draft a quarterback. I'm going to trade whatever I need to trade, and we're going to draft what we can find as the best quarterback. We're going to spend as much money as we can at upgrades. We need an upgrade at safety. We have Burgess, who's not much of an upgrade, but he does have a superstar dev for whatever that's worth. We got Mike Morris, who's going to be more of an interior pass rusher, just kind of fill out the depth chart at defensive end. We definitely need an upgraded D tackle. Derek Brown is our big priority of all this, and he straight up gives us the middle finger. And, maybe move Mike Morris into D tackle. We could do something like that potentially, but for how much money we have, the last 2 free agency periods have been pretty shit. We could use another wide receiver, so it's almost at this point what money can I spend? Punter? Ring Cream? What a shit free agency class. Pardon my French. Absolute trash. I think he's probably just going to go to Minnesota, right? I don't know. Brutal. We did get Hollywood Brown, so there's at least something at wide receiver for our team, but really Derek Brown was the big fish we needed to land. So we go to the draft. Year 5. Super Bowl or bust, and our quarterback is not on the team right now. So we will be trading up for a quarterback, and this honestly has been a rebuild. In terms of team building, we've hit on our draft picks, but we have not got a favorable role. Look how shit this quarterback class is. I mean, Bryce Baptiste at Jacksonville State, top 5 talent, doesn't really look like a B. You usually want to see 3 A's. Doesn't have elite throw power as well. Athletically, 4'6". I mean, he's a good athlete for sure. Elite change of direction, elite strength. We're going to trade up for him, but this is a guy I don't even know. I couldn't guess what that rating is going to be. 72? And we're going to trade multiple first-round picks for him? Yeah, we are, because I don't want Deshaun Watson here. So in the draft, I know he's not going 1-1. Every single mock draft had that as a corner. So we are going to look to try to trade up for the 2nd overall pick belonging to the Colts. And I forgot we traded both of our picks for the tight end last year. So we didn't have a first round this year. And this, Hollywood Brown made it so we can flip from one of our wide receivers. I offered Brewer, who's an 84. They did not want him. Amari Cooper is the only player. Wide receiver was the big position of need for the Colts, number one position that they were looking for. So we had to give up Amari Cooper, 88 superstar, even though he's up there in age a little bit. Our first-round pick next year, our second-round pick this year, to secure the second overall pick so that we can draft the only remotely decent-looking quarterback via free agency or the draft that existed this offseason. Lovely. That's what you love. Top 5 projection, and he ends up being like, he might go in the second round. Jesus. All right, Bryce Baptiste, welcome to Cleveland. I mean, it looks pretty good. 88 acceleration, 83 speed, 93 change of direction, 93 throw power, and he is hidden dev. Could have been worse. And taking a peek at the ratings. We got a 73 D tackle there, Channing Norwood's depth, but it's all eyes on the quarterback who is going to have, I'm going to make him a team captain right away. He's going to have to be the man. Has there ever been a quarterback from Jacksonville State in the NFL? Like maybe, was that the school Dion was at? Maybe his kid, potentially, if they stayed there. But, I mean, not bad. I'm going to be honest, not, a little critical of the fact that we didn't get a lot of value for top 5 and what we gave up. Those aren't bad stats, man. You can work with that. Prototypical size, has the dev trait, 93 throw power, that's great. 86 short accuracy, 86 throw on the run, 88 acceleration, great agility, change of direction. Maybe not the straight line speed that you're looking for. Man, that's a good prospect right there. So after 4 seasons of inconsistent and ultimately mid-play from Deshaun Watson, we're able to shift off his ungodly shit contract and turn that into, honestly, nothing, because free agency was terrible, so he couldn't even spend that money. We are a team in year 5 that is like, really, we should be in year 3 on paper, because we have so much money that we can't spend to improve the team. We had to trade our wide receiver 1 and Amari Cooper to facilitate the drafting of our new 74 rookie quarterback. But, big shoes to fill. Hollywood Brown, Brewer, and Turner are going to need to step up, as well as Sheffield. Offensive line still one of the best in the NFL, if not the best in the AFC. Might not be beating the Eagles or anything like that, or 49ers, but still outstanding. And the offense will absolutely run through Nick Chubb yet again, so we can rely on that a little bit. On the defensive side, the front 4 is looking good. Linebacking core is going to be one of the best in the NFL. Burgess comes over to join Emerson in the safety room. We have Ward, Newsome, and Hewitt in the secondary. I think the secondary overall, very good. 80, 84, 92, 90, and a 78 in the slot. Just not a lot of obvious, glaring weaknesses. Now, needs to be said, we got a rookie quarterback. Is he going to hit the ground? A lot of pressure, man. You are the... Obviously, it comes on me, maybe. I'm the reason why if we don't win. It's probably because of me and how I manage the roster. But it's in context of this rebuild, you need to win us a Super Bowl, or it's a failure. So that pressure is on you, Mr. Bryce Baptiste. What can you do here in year 5? Can you make that jump from Jacksonville State to win a Super Bowl? We're about to find out. And in year 5, by the skin of our teeth, 9-8 in a super competitive AFC North, we are able to somehow come in second place, squeeze into the playoffs, and we get a matchup right away with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our quarterback, Bryce Baptiste, hidden dev superstar. So aging a lot better. Was a little worried, a little suspect during the draft process. Once we drafted him, I was like, all right, the ratings are good. Now he's a superstar. That's a legitimate successor. Like, he's the same rating as Deshaun Watson, I think. Deshaun Watson might have been an 81. And this guy here is not a pervert. So that's positives, right? Positives for the Cleveland Browns organization. How well he played, though, let's find that out. On the offense, pretty much in line with what Deshaun was doing. This is an offense that's been so heavily reliant on the rushing attack of Nick Chubb, and he's starting to regress. He's hit that window. He's hit that wall. He's playing well, though. Brewer, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Maybe felt the loss of Amari Cooper. Both are linebackers, tackle machines. Myles Garrett, back where he needs to be with 24 TFLs, 19 sacks. You love seeing that. Drew Sanders, 7.5 sacks, 19 TFLs, 2 picks, tied for first on the team. Just a do-it-all type linebacker for us. He's been awesome in this rebuild as well. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Will Levis. In the AFC, Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Bryce Baptiste. So if we can find a way to go on a Super Bowl run, we might have a fancy X factor we can slap on our quarterback here, which would be pretty cool. Looking at the rest of the individual awards, we have no Cleveland Browns. So it is time to shift all of our focus towards running the gauntlet. It starts in the wild card round against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Year 5, Super Bowl or bust. Cleveland Browns, can we do it? We got Bryce Baptiste under center. Superstar, rookie, young gun quarterback. And we're going up against an 89 overall Pittsburgh Steelers team, which is one of the highest ratings I've seen in a sim that a team's been able to build. Am I worried? Not really. Maybe a little bit. Oh, maybe a little bit. Maybe a lot bit. Missed 2 field goals in a row. There's 6 points that we left on the board. But we're hanging tough. We are hanging. Come on, give me a stop. We're going to come in here. 3rd and 4. Try to get them a touchdown. Try to give us a chance at victory. We have 3 turnovers on the day. We don't have an Amari Cooper type. But we do have Turner. Runs away from the slot. Slot cheese for sure on that matchup. John Turner, wide receiver 3. Great touchdown. We're going to come in here. We'll try it. 3rd and 11. Need a stop. No timeouts. We're going to be Myles Garrett. Get a stop here. Which we do. Home to a field goal attempt. Touchdown. You know what it is. We have a proven speedster in Hollywood Brown. Baptiste, 93, maybe even 94 throw power. Take that. We need a Hail Mary, man. Hail Mary 2-point conversion. What can we do? We got speed. We got speed. Oh, no. Go. Okay, we got out of bounds. 1 touchdown to 3 picks for our quarterback. That is tough. Hey, Brewer got speed too in the slot. That's where I want to go, I think. Float that in. Oh, I thought that was going to miss. We need the 2-pointer. Something Nick Chubb, right? It wouldn't let me go for it. What the fuck? How is that not a play the moments? The 2-point conversion to tie is not play the moment worthy? Fuck off. So that's how this one ends. We run into an outstanding Pittsburgh Steelers team, and my rookie quarterback sucks in the biggest moment of his young career. Looking at a recap of how everything kind of broke down. You know, it's not Deshaun Watson. That's our review of our quarterback spot. And even with Deshaun Watson, he was expensive and nowhere near as good, keeping him on the team for the funk, the stink that he brought to the locker room. Plus his on-the-field production was solid first 2 years, then fell off a total cliff. Nick Chubb was MVP, I think, consensus of this rebuild. 14,000 yards rushing, 144 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Brewer 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns. Just never. This was a bad role, man, of a rebuild. Felt like when we had to replace non-skill position players, things rolled out well for us. We were able to draft offensive linemen. We were able to draft linebackers. But when it came to defensive backs, free agency in the draft never really worked out for us to get a true game changer. More so at safety than anything, because obviously it was always going to be Denzel Ward's room. Never able to draft a great wide receiver. Never able to hit on that tight end, even though, we traded up and it didn't work out, right? So, it is what it is. JOK, 800 tackles. Cool. Good for you. Myles Garrett sitting on 140 TFLs, 140 sacks. Disappointing. Myles Garrett, I've seen plenty of sims where what we saw in 2024 was the norm. 20-some sacks every single year, and he had just 2 really off seasons, 2025, 2026. Years 3 and 4 of the rebuild. You can't have that. We need Myles Garrett to dominate every single snap. Drew Sanders was really good. Great player. Draft pick for us. Developed into a superstar X Factor. Maybe the stats weren't always there, but, you know, kind of as a hybrid type player. 58 TFLs, 43 sacks. Not too bad. 25 picks, Denzel Ward finishing his career. We had 11 for Martin Emerson, who was a success story, moving from corner to safety. Dorian Williams, JOK, both played very well for us at linebacker as well. Really happy with my linebacking core. But we did the Browns rebuild. We stuck with Deshaun Watson. And I think, you know, if you want 5-year success, probably figuring out a way to move on from Deshaun Watson is going to be in your best interest. Maybe that was our issue. We just stuck with Deshaun Watson for a little too long. And then we had to panic in year 5, go with a rookie, inexperienced quarterback whose inexperience was on full display in the playoffs. That'll do it for me today, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy the struggles of trying to rebuild the Cleveland Browns. And all I need from you guys is to let me know in the comment section below what rebuild you guys want to see next year on the channel. Most requested rebuild will be in our next video. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4. Say peace out, love ya, have a good one.